when the issues matter and the need to know matters.
The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up a Rufai committee recommending restructuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Uvorawen was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Tufoni. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on the Signature Show. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilo. On the 28th of June, 2 young men were sent to prison in Enugu. The interesting thing about one of those that was sent to prison was that just about a year ago, he had won election to represent Enugu South Urban constituency at the Enugu House of Assembly. For a lot of his admirers, his journey to prison started with winning that position and being sworn in to serve as a member of the Enugu State House of Assembly. How did Honorable Bright Ngene move from the assembly to prison? Why did one of his friends and a fellow indigene of Akukewani also end up in prison on the 28th of June, 2024. I have with me in the studio 2 gentlemen that will try to unravel, try to untwist this very complicated story in the studio with me. First is a former commissioner in Enugu State and a former member of the Enugu State House of Assembly. Sometimes is referred to as an elder statesman, Chief Lucky Chukwu. Chief Lucky, you're welcome to the Signature Show.
Thank you very much, V. Martin Silo.
Also in the studio here is Chukwuemeka John Okereke, who is a lawyer and counsel to Bright Chukwuemeka Ngene and John Ewo, who both are now at the Enugu Correctional Center. They have been sentenced to a total of 7 years each in prison, 4 years for stealing and 3 years for conspiracy. Gentlemen, this story has become so big in Nigeria today. There has been demonstrations across the country, especially in Enugu, about this sentence that was given to these 2 gentlemen, especially the sentence given to Honorable Bright Ngene, who just until recently, when the court said they needed to go back and do a rerun of his election in 6 polling units in his state constituency, was a member of the Enugu State House of Assembly. And now he is cooling his heels in prison. I'll start with you, Lucky Chukwu. Your party, LP, which sponsored Bright Ngene to the House of Assembly, is crying wolf. You say there's something wrong with this judgment, there's something wrong with the procedure, there's something wrong with the process. Would you take time and take us a little back about how this journey started for Bright Ngene from the House of Assembly to prison?
Thank you very much, V. Martin Silo. Like you said, the problem of Honorable Barrister Bright Ngene started the day he won his election into Enugu State House of Assembly. Now, before then, there was a petition because there was crisis in our Akuke community. So, Honorable Bright Ngene was a secretary of a subcommittee. They were not privy to any of the parties. So, the two parties agreed that Bright's
The two
Chambers...
parties, you mean?
The factions.
Okay, there
Town
was,
union
there was
factions.
already a problem in the community.
There was already a
and the
problem.
community was divided into 2 groups.
They agreed that, in fact, a lien was placed on the account of the community. So there was this agreement that Bright Ngene should make his chambers account available for the payment of toll that they collect from the sand. You know, Akuke is where tippers go to collect sand. So as they were collecting, they were paying into that account. The road so degenerated to a level that the community said, we must do something about that road. Money was lifted from that account for the construction or reconstruction of that road. When that money was taken away, I'm surprised. What the police wrote was 7-point-something million. But what was in the charge sheet is 15-point-something million. So apparently something is wrong somewhere. The police that investigated the matter came to the conclusion that it was 7-point-something million. But in the charge sheet, the amount was increased to 15 million. However, the petition was dated 2017 and was left in abeyance. No person talked about anything until Honorable Bright Ngene now won election into Enugu State House of Assembly. They went and resurrected that petition, and it was charged to court. John Ewo was charged to court by association. He's very close to Bright Ngene. The matter was taken to the court of a retiring magistrate court, a retiring magistrate court, Chief A.O. Eze. So, upon the retirement of Eze, the matter was now sent to the court of Idion. The way Idion was handling that matter was so manifest that he is totally biased.
Okay, before we go to that, because for those details, I want to talk to his lawyer,
Okay.
who is also here in the studio. But before we go there, when Bright won,
Yes.
his victory was challenged in court.
Yes.
And I am aware that the court had ruled that election will be rerun in
eight polling units.
8 polling units in his federal constituency.
In one ward.
In one ward.
Yeah.
So what happened from that point? Because he had to leave the House of Assembly, or was he still in the House of Assembly?
He had to leave the State House of Assembly
To
in
go and
obedience
to the
to the order of the tribunal,
tribunal. Okay.
Election Petition Tribunal. So they gave that order. If you look at the proceedings, or you were privy to the proceedings, there was no any way either of the panelists, the judges, with due respect to them, would have made any judgment in that matter. But because something has happened, they couldn't, so they decided, okay, let us order for a run in 8 polling units. The run was slated for 3rd June 2024 to be conducted by the resident electoral commissioner, Chukwuemeka Joseph Chukwu, and of course the electoral officer, Enugu South Local Government Area, Francis Chibu. There were normal accreditations and all the rest of them who were there. The senator representing Enugu Senatorial Zone, Sir Kevin Chukwu, was there. The member representing Enugu North and South Federal Constituency, Chimatu, was there. Then the member representing Enugu East and Isuzo Federal Constituency, Professor Namchi, was equally there. All the labor officials that have sympathy, including people that have sympathy for Labour that were not members of the Labour Party, were there. So when they wanted to distribute the materials, we discovered to our greatest shock that the result sheet was not among the papers that were supposed to be distributed. We now ask, where is the result sheet?
So there was no result sheet?
There was no result sheet. And we insisted, if there is no result sheet, then there will be no election. That was the scenario. At around 2 p.m., he now called all the members of the political parties, party officials, and all the rest of them, and said that the election was being postponed. He was specifically asked, why are you postponing the election? He didn't give any answer to that. But something happened. The result sheet had already been taken away and result written in advance, just like what happened in Kogi State.
Did you see the result sheet that had been written?
I'm coming to that.
No, did you see the result sheet?
I didn't see the result sheet.
So what I'd like us to take away is that the result sheet was not available.
It was not available.
Yeah.
But if the results had not been written, they would have brought the result sheet back.
Okay, so you are suspecting
Yes.
that it may have been written.
Exactly. And because it has been written, there was no way they could smuggle it in.
That was the assumption.
That's my assumption, and that's correct. Because it happened in Kogi. Results were already written before the election, and they were announcing the result while election was going on. Now, they said no date for the...
So the REC accepted that the election was not going to proceed.
Yes.
Because there was no
result
sheet. Good.
Then Bright Ngene now, through his lawyer that is here with me, wrote a petition to the National INEC chairman, Professor Yakub Mahmood, detailing what happened. The resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Chukwuemeka Joseph Ike, and the EO, Enugu South Urban, they were asked to step aside.
By INEC National.
By INEC National. Given the evidence based on the petition and what transpired. So, the REC, Resident Electoral Commissioner for Anambra State, Mrs. Elizabeth Agu, was asked, together with her team, to come to Enugu on 14th of June to conduct the rerun.
What happened when they came?
When they came after accreditation, suddenly Chief Jim Ngobodo surfaced and asked the woman to render the election inconclusive. The woman said, no, I won't take instruction from you. I will take instruction from those who sent me from Abuja.
Who gave you this information?
I was there. No person gave me any information.
So when the woman said, I won't take instructions from you, what happened?
Now, Jim retorted in Igbo. MS going election. MSC election. So, translated into English, what are you people still waiting for? Election has been completed, and you people are here looking, moping. In fact, that incited members of the PDP.
Again, that's your assumption, that what he said incited them. That is your assumption.
That is my assumption.
Good.
Because immediately after that statement, they started destroying INEC materials. The PDP candidate, Honorable Ngene, personally was destroying the cubicles of INEC. He was caught on camera.
Do you have the
Yes. We have the electronic evidence.
You can present that
evidence. Yes.
You have to present the evidence.
It's all right.
Good.
So when that thing now happened, the woman herself went into her vehicle. Police decided to protect her.
So the election did not continue?
The election, after accreditation, did not continue again.
Because of the violence?
Because of the perceived violence. There was no violence.
No, but you said they were destroying...
Of course, when he made that decision, they started destroying things, and the woman was still willing
to conduct
the election. So she waited patiently. Those talks refused to leave the scene. So the woman now decided that there will be no election after accreditation had taken place. So shortly after that, about 2 weeks after that event, the resident electoral commissioner of Enugu State, Chukwuemeka Joseph Chukwu, now called
the same man that the INEC chairman
asked to step aside
so that the Anambra REC can conduct.
Yes.
Came back again
with the same electoral officer for Enugu South local government, Francis Chibu. They now called all the political parties and the candidates, addressed them that the election was going to take place. So when they came out from that meeting, we did the analysis. Here is a man that could not produce the result sheet in the first election of 3rd June 2024 and was asked to step aside with the electoral officer for Enugu South local government, Mr. Francis Chibu, coming again to say that they are going to conduct an election. So we went home and analyzed the entire thing and decided to address the press. That this is a man that was asked to step aside with his EO. The same, when has he been rebaptized to come and...
Did the election take place eventually?
No, the election did not take place.
Why didn't it take place?
Because we said we don't want the man to come and conduct the election.
Did you petition INEC?
Yes.
And did INEC take action?
We were waiting for the reply of the INEC when the same man said that the election will not take place again.
So, so up till now, has the election taken place?
The election has not taken place because we refused and insisted that there must not be any election. One, the Election Petition Tribunal started sitting from May to September.
Okay.
when they, in their verdict, they said rerun must take place in 8 polling units in Enugu South local government area. 90 days.
Is it
Within 90 days,
not more
that
than,
INEC,
not
and
more
not
than,
more than 90 days,
okay.
INEC must conduct the election within 90 days and not after 90 days. 90 days came and passed. 125 days came and passed. Look, we are not illiterates. We have the Electoral Act. As it stands now, any election conducted by INEC is null and void in respect of that state constituency.
Okay.
Because the result that came out when INEC conducted the first election was bright 5,862 votes. Mark my word, 5,862 votes. Ngene of PDP, 2,098 votes.
So what was the number of all the votes in the 8 polling stations?
I think about 4,000 plus.
Okay, so that was the vote in contention.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back there. Let me go to Barrister Okereke, who is also the lawyer for Bright Chukwuemeka Ngene and John Ewo. Let's talk about the legal processes which ended with the imprisonment of Bright and John. This matter was in 2017. Nothing happened between 2017 and probably 2023 or 2024. What brought back this matter?
Well, thank you, Martins. Just like my brother said, the political scene introduced another thing into the matter. As a lawyer, I read through the scripts, through the files. I saw the facts open. There was no case either in that file. That was why that case was like no case. Let me put your mind back. AOSA, who is now retired, his worship is a chief magistrate. Transferred that matter to the admin magistrate, who transferred it to Emmanuel Dominic.
Why was it? Because he was retiring?
He retired.
So he transferred to the administrative.
Yes. Yes. Emmanuel Dominic was following this matter. There was no stress. The lawyers who were in that matter at that time did not complain until things started happening politically. It was Bright who told the magistrate that he has interest in politics. And the obvious bias started.
So why did he have to tell the magistrate
because
that he had
we
interest
are
in politics?
all lawyers. Ongu is a friendly man, he's a good man, he's a family man. Bright is a family man. I myself, we are lawyers. We are justices. To others who don't know law. So we have to move together. But that is not the issue. The major issue now is, how did the court conduct this case from that point?
Tell me, that's what I'm asking.
And that is what I'm trying to tell you.
You have addressed press conferences, you have granted interviews where you have accused ED on the magistrate of bias.
Yes.
So that's why I want you to tell me why you concluded that he's biased in this matter.
It was obvious. Obvious in the matter that when a matter is being handled and the magistrate steps into the arena all the time, the magistrate has an obvious interest in that matter.
That's a legal register.
Yes.
What do you mean when he steps into the arena?
Stepping into the arena is when, because a judge supposed to be an unbiased judge, because
what you mean is that by stepping into the arena,
he
biased.
does not look left or right. He sees the law and sees the facts.
What are the facts, barrister?
Yes.
When you say he's biased, he stepped into the arena, what facts do you have? Can you tell me why, either in his conduct or in his process or in his procedure, what convinced you that he's biased and what you did about it?
Okay, let me tell you one thing. First of all, he asked the first defendant, whom I am representing, to go and kneel before the traditional rulers, even when the matter has not been heard. And when that was not done, his interests become obvious. And stepping into the arena, there are so many versions of it. When you come into the arena and take over the prosecution from the prosecutor, the judges don't do that. You allow the prosecutor to prove a case. And we are hammering.
You've not told me how he took over prosecution from the prosecutors. How did he do that?
Okay, let me not take you too far. In court, when a judge begins to ignore certain facts which ought to appear in the record, it is interest, manifest interest. And when the parties see that and petition to the chief judge of the state, who has a supervisory role upon the magistrate, that this is what is happening, and the judge, the chief judge, under his hand and seal, transfer the matter from the magistrate and say, do not do it again. Let another magistrate take over.
So you petitioned the chief judge when you saw the bias.
And the matter was transferred.
And the chief judge of the state transferred the matter to another judge.
By an order of 9th November 2022. The matter was transferred from ED to IM Mama.
So how did the matter now end again in ED Onwu's court, where he gave the judgment, since you said the chief judge had transferred the matter to Mama? What happened?
Martin, that's where we will begin to establish conspiracy.
Please do establish it now.
Yes,
because I need to have the facts.
If the court has actually transferred that matter to IM Mama, and IM Mama sat on that matter, plea was taken.
He did.
And hearing started.
He did.
Hearing commenced. And on the 10th day of November, IM Mama, in his wisdom and knowledge of law, said, there's no matter here in this case. Transfer it to multi-door courthouse for proper mediation. He has seen everything about the file. The matter was pending at the multi-door courthouse when another order from nowhere came, purportedly signed by the chief judge. I said no. If chief judge of Enugu State...
What was the order about?
The order now ordered that the matter be transferred to Court 5. The matter in Court 5, be transferred to ED on back again.
I want to be very clear because I'm getting a little confused.
All right.
The chief judge, after your petition, ordered that the matter be taken to Mama's court.
Yes.
And 10 days into the matter, even when Mama had directed that you go to the multi-door to look for how to resolve the matter.
Yes.
Then an order came again from the same chief judge.
It's not 10 days. Martin, it is not 10 days. When the matter was transferred,
Yes.
that was 9th November 2022.
Good.
Now, another letter from NL Chijokabo, the deputy court registrar, the deputy chief registrar, High Court and Litigation,
Okay.
wrote another letter addressed to the third defendant, that is John Ewo, telling him that his application has been refused. The two letters, the one of NLC Abo, Chijioka Abo, denying that the application was refused, and another letter forwarding an order of the chief judge to IM Mama, became conflicting.
So,
Yes.
so when you saw these conflicting orders,
It was brought back to the knowledge of the chief judge
how did you do that?
by presenting it through another
Later.
write-up
To the chief judge.
to the chief
So
judge.
when you got your letter to the chief judge saying that you're getting confused with the conflicting memos or orders coming from the same source, what did the chief judge do?
Another order of the 6th June 2023 was made.
By the chief judge?
Restating that the transfer to IM Mama subsists, and that the order of 9th November is still enforced
So
by the order of 6th June.
So what now went wrong? Then if it was back...
After all this, that was when the hearing commenced in Ifeanyi Mama's court
where he now decided that you guys should go for
to
mediation.
transfer to multi-door.
So at what point did you have another order now taking the case back to
By 2023 December, another order emerged that the matter be transferred back to ED
from the chief judge?
from the chief judge. Purportedly, because I doubted it, that though the chief judge has right at all times to transfer cases.
Did you approach the chief judge or did you petition at this time?
I now put up a letter in form of petition. I just mellowed it down and said the title, Request for Direction.
And what did he direct? The chief judge, when he got your letter, what did he direct?
Nothing happened. We were not directed either.
When nothing happened, what did you do?
I wrote again because the court continued. Even when I brought the letter to the notice of the magistrate court, that I wrote a letter against you before the chief judge, that the way you are conducting this matter is not following the procedure. We are laying dangerous precedents before the people. Then he continued, and at this time he started to adjourn the matter more regular than before. I now wrote a letter, another one to the chief judge, which I served through courier service, that there is lawlessness and abuse of office in the magistrate court where I represent the first defendant.
And what did the chief judge do?
And nothing happened.
When nothing happened, were you helpless?
Yes, I was. But I remembered that in 2023, May 23rd, that we filed an application, ex parte motion, seeking for the leave of court to apply for judicial review of the activities of these judicial officers who are going beyond the law. When I now moved that motion on 25th of May 2024, a year after, I expected, and when I moved that motion, It was in the open court. And the judge, with all due respect, gave an order giving us leave to apply for judicial review and prohibiting the magistrate, the chief magistrate, from continuing on the matter.
Which court gave you this judgment?
Court 1, Enugu State,
Okay.
presided over by A.O. Onovo,
Okay.
High Court.
High Court. When I got this order, I came to court. I announced it to the magistrate. He said until he sees the order. I went back. The following adjournment, which is the following day, because we have started adjourning on daily basis. I could not get the order. I applied for certified true copy of the record of the court where that order was given. I got a certified true copy and I served it to the court. I said, look at where the order was given. While we are waiting for the order, look at the order was given. Actually, it's not a makeup. Now, he said, until he sees the order.
So eventually you got the certified copy.
I served.
You served the judge. I mean the magistrate.
I served the magistrate in the court and I served to the prosecutor. Unfortunately, that order never saw the light of the day because when I approached the registrar of the court, he said, it is typed, but there are some errors until the presiding judge corrects it, that I should come the next day. The next day, I was informed that the file has been removed.
From
From court 1 to nowhere.
So did you look for the file?
I asked for the file in the office.
Did you find the file?
No. Because the court clerk told me that file was taken by the deputy chief registrar, N.L. Chijioke Abo, to his own office, to her own office. And what happened is that I waited for the order. That order was made in the open court. I expect to get that order.
So eventually, did you get the order?
I
Because
did not
we
get the
don't have
order.
all the time.
I don't get the order. I
Okay.
didn't.
So what happened?
What happened is the story with the judiciary and judicial workers. Because
No, what I mean is when you didn't get the
order,
yes, to serve
yes,
the magistrate who was telling you that he needed to see the document.
yes.
What how did you move ahead with the case?
I now filed a motion against him. I said, because of all these your comments, all these your acts, attitudes, and breach to the law, it is time for you to recuse yourself of this matter. Allow this another magistrate to take care of this case.
Did he agree?
That was the matter we adjourned for motion for 28th of June. And that was the day the motion was moved. But eventually, it came to me that the order which I was waiting for has been vacated. I wasn't there. No notice. This order that was given in the open court was vacated.
Outside the court.
Without the party, without anybody knowing about it. When we now came back, unfortunately, the first thing the prosecutor served me was a certified true copy of the record of court where the order was vacated.
But you were not informed in any way
not
as the
informed.
lawyer that was representing. Okay.
I now said, you have to recuse yourself, please, because you have done much.
You were telling the magistrate.
And I put it in form of motion.
And he refused.
And we now adjourn to move my motion because they needed to react. He himself, as the magistrate who has been made a party to the case ought to have filed a counter affidavit
So when
against all the allegations I have made against him.
So when this was not going the way you wanted, did you continue with the matter, or did you petition the chief judge again, or what did you do at that time?
At the moment where that lawlessness was not controlled by the chief judge, we are constrained to seek redress at the higher level. We now wrote a petition to NJC, National Judicial Council.
What were you asking the Judicial Council to do?
I asked that they intervene, that my client is going to be convicted unjustly. That's my prayer, and sole prayer too.
Did they intervene? Did they stop the process?
They wrote to me that my petition is taken care of, that they eventually will see to it, and I agreed. Because there are other processes they have to take. I am not holding their brief. But when I came back to Enugu, I now served my petition to the magistrate. I said, I wrote against you to the NJC. It is better we do not preempt or do anything prejudicial, so that when the NJC steps in, they make their findings. He said he will not receive it.
He refused to.
He refused to collect it.
Okay.
Then we went and served the chief judge in his office. They collected it. When we now told the NJC secretary, look at what was going on, he said, serve him in any way. We dropped it in his court. And the bailiff swore to an affidavit of service. And we forwarded those affidavit of service back to NJC.
So did he now stop?
He did not stop.
Okay, let me bring...
Because that's why we said there was obvious bias. He was bent on running a script. He could not stop.
What was the script?
The script, political.
Okay, since it's political, let me come to the politician. Chief Lucky. So, I mean, it was like the lawyer had come to a dead end, kind of. So what happened at that point?
Well, what happened at that point was I had to grant an interview to Arise Television and explained the details of what happened. One, PDP wanted Bright Ngene to cross over from Labour Party to PDP. He refused.
Do you have
Yes, I have it.
Do you have evidence?
Of course,
because
of course.
We deal
Even the day he told me that he was going to meet with the governor and that an arrangement has been made so that he will go there. I said, you can go and see the governor. He's the governor of the state. But I told him, be very careful.
Did he see the governor?
Eventually, he didn't see the governor. So, he didn't know that they were applying delay tactics to hit at him. So, all these make-up stories was to, whatever action he wants to take, he will drop it. I said, Bright, be very careful. You know what shocked me? On 27th, 7 hillocks filled by armed mobile policemen with double magazines. 8 Sienna with security men just over this particular.
Do we have a video?
Of course, there is. We'll make it available to you. You see, I saw that last in a governorship petition tribunal where the tribunal was going to give their last judgment.
So on this day that you had all the security, heightened security, that was also a day of one of the sittings of
Yes.
magistrate
Yes.
So
in fact, after 27th, He now adjourned to 28 and said that the two defendants should come to court by 12 noon. I called John Ewo and Bright. I said, be ready to go to prison. Now this man has finished writing his judgment.
Was it just by hindsight, or was
No. The way the matter was going, it was very clear. Even that day he gave the judgment, he said his hands were tied in open court. In open court.
Okay, Lucky, I would go back to the lawyer. So tell me what happened on the 27th and 28th. We don't have time.
Yes.
We need to be really...
Prior to 27th,
Yes.
they have already scheduled for an election, for that rerun, on a Saturday. We had a matter on Wednesday. And my client, the first defendant, must attend to a meeting of the INEC. I begged the court to grant him leave to go and attend that matter at that meeting. That was what started the fast lane. Now, when that leave was granted, he now said that the matter must continue. I said, can the matter continue in the absence of the first defendant? Let us adjourn, and if possible, vacate the Friday so that we enable them to participate in the Saturday election. After the election, we'll continue. He said, if that is the case, it is better to call Bright back. Bright, the first defendant has gone far. They sent a pregnant woman to go and call him back. He was invited back. When he come back to the court, it was argued again. It was getting late in the night. That was when the court now said it has to be on 27th. On 27th, we were first going to take motion. And that motion was that the Akuke and the Akuku One people wrote a letter as nominal complainants in the matter that they want to withdraw. If it's a sin that their son has committed, they are ready to forgive him. That they should. The court now ruled and said, no, you cannot withdraw.
Why?
Reason best known to him.
He didn't give any reason for refusing.
He said it's only the Attorney General that can grant such leave to withdraw. We lawyers, we said no. That a nominal complainant has right to withdraw his matter or withdraw his evidence, or even say, I no longer wish to prosecute. It was overruled. Now, we now quickly adjourned to 28 for motion. Motion to recuse yourself. Motion to recall the third witness that was wrongly foreclosed. And these two motions were moved on 28. And the court insisted on ruling. Even when there was a serious argument, you ought not to be a judge in your own case. These affidavits were against you. I mentioned your name severally, accusing and alleging a lot of bias upon you that you ought to file a counter affidavit. You did not file anything. The prosecution filed just a flimsy something. The court insisted to rule on it. Why not transfer this motion to another court to judge over you? You are sitting as a judge in your own
So the
place.
magistrate ignored the motion.
Ruled against the motion, overruled it,
And did what?
and said he has power to continue. Then, the counsel to the third defendant rose and said, my client was wrongly foreclosed, that he was the town union chairman who set up the committee where the first defendant was a secretary. That his evidence could have afforded the court first-hand information on why money was transacted in the first place. Because it was his order, the third defendant as the town union chairman,
President,
that ordered for any money to be paid into any account. Even not only the
the judge refused.
He refused.
And went ahead with the judgment.
We did not adjourn for judgment. Even before judgment, we ought to address court. Address, final address is a constitutional right. Even if you did not give evidence, you're supposed to, and you have the right to address court.
Did you request to address the court?
It is a matter of routine. We requested, we were in court, we are ready.
And he refused.
All we ask is, please, like myself, representing the first defendant, I took over this matter halfway. I showed the court my application for the certified true record of court, so that I can now have a full idea of what I will address court on. I showed it to court. Court said, if you cannot address me now, forget it. He now called the third defendant and said that his lawyer should address him. In the end, nobody addressed the court. First defendant, third defendant, prosecution, nobody addressed the court.
And the judge gave his judgment.
He knocked on the table and said, this matter must end today. This matter must end today. And now opened his file and brought out already made judgment. Even if we had addressed court orally, the judgment was already there.
Okay, so he read his judgment. Of course, it's open. He sentenced your client and his friend to 7 years imprisonment.
Yes.
4 years for stealing, 3 years for conspiracy.
Yes.
We have less than 5 minutes.
Yes.
So where do we go from here? What happens? Will Bright, who is supposed to be contesting his position at the tribunal or wherever, or going for re-election or rerun, or refusing not to go, will he continue to be in prison for 7 years? As their lawyer, what are you doing, or what constitutional rights does he have moving forward?
Well, removing politics from it, Enugu State Judiciary is still a dependable justice institution. I, as the counsel for the first defendant, must, and I have, applied to the same court for bail pending appeal. It is a constitutional right that so long as they were coming to court religiously and has never failed to appear in court until their judgment,
so you have appealed for,
they are entitled to bail pending appeal. Then on the errors of judgment and what has happened, transpired in the judgment, there must be an appeal against the conviction.
So are you going to appeal?
We have already appealed. We have already filed our appeal.
Okay.
Yes,
you have the last word. Politically, looking at all this, what's the way forward? What's your party doing about this?
Well, my party, they are doing a lot. V. Martin, my elder brother, Elder Barrister Ibo Chukwuowele, was assassinated because of the type of politics we play in Nkano land. He's an Amade, he's an Odenibo. I was expecting Solomon Lai is dead, Sam Mbakwe is dead, Abubakar Adimi is dead, Goni of Borno State is dead. We thank God that Chief Jim Nwoboro is still alive. We are thinking that Chief Jim Nwoboro, as a foremost politician and a man we regard as our father, who was governor when we were with old Anambra State, will call his children together and not take sides. The day Igbo was killed, right inside, behind his backyard. Till date, Jim never issued any statement condemning the killing of my senior brother and the burning of the corpse. It is unfortunate that Jim will come to the level of House of Assembly to come and take side. Let me warn. They've killed Owele, my brother. We are still looking for those that killed him. But Jim, he will face the judgment of God.
It's okay. Jim is not here, so we won't let you. I must.
Finally, V. Martins.
In one word.
Yes.
Please, we are out of time.
We are going to get judgment.
Okay.
But Nigerians should watch it. If INEC cannot conduct election in 8 polling units, how would they conduct election in Edo and Ondo?
Okay, gentlemen, I must thank you for your time. We may be bringing you back to the studio because this is a continuing story, it's a developing story. We may bring you back. I want to thank you, Lucky Chukwu, for your time, former commissioner and former member of the Enugu State House of Assembly. Chukwuemeka John Okereke, lawyer, and counsel to Bright, and John Ewo. I must thank you. And you'll be watching The Signature Show. I'm Vin Martin Obiora Ilo from Enugu, Nigeria. Thanks for watching.